Okay, there we go, guys. Looking pretty good. Got Susie Q to be the line master here. Yeah, look at those fries. You got the Polish there.
Yeah, Polish and the dog
I've never
decked
seen
out.
fries like that. It must be some special
They call them sidewinder fries.
sidewind. Good morning, America! Wake up! We got an early show for you today. Hey! It's DJ Wonder Chrissy, and welcome. Today is Thursday, February 8th. We're heading towards Valentine's Day. Can you believe that? Another good show for you today. An update from on Brandon, and we got some words from JB Pritzker. They've transitioned from the food service, which now we're finding out was a food depository, which was taking in money from the state and pushing it down to black and brown partners. That's how they were doing it. Now that they've actually got some companies that bid on it, and supposedly he's going to save us money, $15 to $17 per migrant per day for meals. We'll have a little video on that. But an interesting video. It appears that Brandon went to the Grammys in Los Angeles, and he found some business meetings to attend along the way to make it a write-off, I guess. Update on what's happening in Chicago. I'm not even sure if Metra fixed their problems with their ticketing system yet. Lurie's Children's still down, and that's going to be an ongoing saga from what I hear. Appears that they had their data in-house, and that's how it got cyber hacked. Because if you have it from what I'm hearing or reading, if you have your data in the cloud, it's much more secure, and you're not as apt to cyber hacking. So there's an update on that. So let's get started with one of our videos here. Let me get it all set up here. We'll get this one ready to go. This is a good video from NBC. They kind of cover what's happened. There was a meeting with JB and Brandon and the Cook County Commissioner, who we've said before, if anything happens to Brandon, she may end up taking over. She had run for mayor at one point many years ago. So let me get this one set up for you. And off we will go. Let me see here. Let me get that resized and set there. You can see the whole thing. All right, we're ready to go. So here we go. Here's Allison. She introduces a nice 2-minute video that gives us a real good summary of where things are at in Chicago.
And an NBC5 exclusive tonight. There was a high-level meeting this afternoon between city, county, and state leaders. It happened after Johnson that included a ticket to the Grammy Awards.
Yeah, I wonder who gave him that ticket to the Grammys. Anyway.
Local reporter Marianne Ahern. Marianne?
Allison, Mayor Johnson took the red-eye back to Chicago this morning after the Grammys were over. He also attended policy meetings in L.A., according to his press secretary. Back in Chicago, the migrant crisis was again front and center. It is not often he comes to city.
There's Chris Christie of the Midwest, JB. Gotta love that stylish coat he's got.
today.
And the binder. All Dems are into binders, right? You know the binder at the White House? Here, he's got his own binder here. And it looks like he's got female security guards or something going on in dresses. I don't know.
Governor J.B. Pritzker did.
Regular meetings between the city candidates.
Pritzker here to meet with Mayor Brandon Johnson and Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. The last time they did so was January 9th. There's been growing tensions between the city and the state over where any new shelters might go, as well as the overwhelming costs. This was the mayor 2 weeks ago.
Shelters do not have to solely be set up and built in the city of Chicago.
Let me play that again for you folks in Illinois. Last I checked, though, Chicago was the only sanctuary city we had. But he wants to have these shelters outside the city of Chicago. So, folks, if you live in Illinois, heed warning on where Brandon wants to go with everything. Let me play that one more time for you.
The overwhelming costs. This was the mayor 2 weeks ago.
Shelters do not have to solely be set up and built in the city of Chicago.
As for today's meeting with the governor, it lasted about 70 minutes.
Part of our regular meetings between the city, the county, and the state.
And Migrant?
Talking about, the asylum seekers and making sure that we're taking good care.
Currently, there are more than 13,000 migrants in 28 city shelters. Chicago has received more than 35,000 migrants since August of 2022.
Good discussion and, planning. So, we've been doing this, as you know, with our staffs for quite some time now, and then, regular intervals of meetings with the principals.
Would you say that everyone got along well?
Oh, yeah. We always do.
Last week, I asked the mayor's press secretary if the mayor would be attending the Grammys, and the press secretary said not to his knowledge.
Lots of transparency here, right? And I guess things change by the minute in City Hall. So let me listen to what she's got to say.
And it was not a priority. As for today's City Hall meeting, no one, Johnson, Preckwinkle, or Pritzker, had it on their public schedules. Stefan?
Okay, Marianne Ahern, thank you so much.
What does it take to be a Schengen?
Okay, so there's that. Let me get the next one set up for you here. This is where we find out how the money is flowing. We'll talk about that too. How the money is flowing. You keep hearing about how money is not flowing to Chicago. I'm here to tell you money is flowing in Chicago rather freely. And here's an example of it's all flowing downhill, right? It goes into NGOs and it goes into, the food depository, which sends it to little black and brown places in Chicago. And now those places have an issue. They went out and they bought all this equipment. Unless these new vendors utilize the same subcontractors that the food depository utilized to do food, those people just had cash outlay and expanded staff and everything else to provide these meals, and now their contract is gone. So it appears they had several organizations helping them to provide the meals that they needed, which most of them, I guess, found their way into the garbage can. But here we go. So today or yesterday was the transition to the new food staffing architecture, which I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that in the near future.
Mayor Brandon Johnson is talking about a high-stakes meeting on the migrant crisis. He met with Governor Pritzker and Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle yesterday at City Hall to talk about the response. More than 35,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago in the last year and a half.
This mission, it's going to take all of us. And
there you go again. We talked about this before. It's not a migrant crisis to this guy. It's a mission. So listen to it as he calls it, the mission.
This mission, it's going to take all of us. And so there is a strong commitment still for the state, the county, and the city to continue to challenge the federal government to respond to this international crisis.
This morning, the mayor was at BJ's Market at 95th and Stony Island to honor owner John Meyer and the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Looks like some nice food there. Looks like some chicken cutlets and maybe some fried chicken going on.
BJ's is one of 17 small businesses that worked with the food depository to provide
Chicken
meals.
tenders.
It is a model of what we were able to do, not only providing millions of meals for new arrivals, but also reinvesting millions of dollars in small and local Black and Brown owned businesses.
$17 million from the state and private donations paid for meals at 21 different shelter sites.
Watch break.
So there you go. There's a quick meeting there. You're handing out some thank you letters. I'm sure those people are appreciative of the thank you letters. Put in a wastebasket. Anyway, let's talk about the border bill, which was DOA on arrival to the House. The border bill, in my reading, really wasn't a border bill. It was investing in other countries and had a little sliver of cash for the border. And what they wanted to do at the border was to keep it status quo and be able to more efficiently process these people. That's basically what the border bill was, and that's why the GOP is saying dead on arrival. Nada, get this stuff out of here. Get this stuff out of here. Yeah, they belched up on that. That's how Washington does things, folks. It's an election year, as we talked about in our last video. You're going to see a lot happen this year, good and bad. Like we talked in the last video, there's a little island called Taiwan that's going to get gobbled up by China while Joe Bergen watches from afar. So get ready to see that happen. As we talked about, you need to go out and buy yourself anything that's got computer chips in it, because once that happens, the prices of computers and electronics is going to go sky high. So, if you're looking for a big screen TV, check out Costco, Sam's Club, and Walmart, man. The places are just packed with deals on big screen TV. You can get like a 55, 60-inch big screen TV now for like $300, $350, decent TV. So if you're looking for a deal and you got some spare cash, check out the big screens. But yeah, the border bill's dead. It looks like maybe they may try to clean it up, but from what I saw, it was so littered with foreign monies for the wars going on around the world that it didn't address the border. It was just some old ideas that the Dems had, and wasn't gonna stop the flow. And they really haven't stopped the flow now as it is anyway. The flow has just moved further west to Arizona and California. Texas has plugged their problem, which may help some of these blue cities, because now, Governor Abbott doesn't have as many to bus out, I guess. Denver's offloading its people into the streets now. I guess they're going to have next couple of days, they're going to have 3,000 people that are hitting the streets. They're getting them out of their hotel rooms, and the fiasco is starting there. So you're going to see, if you're going to Denver, you're going to see a lot of tent cities, and I hope they don't get any heavy snowfalls, because tents like you see on the streets these days don't hold up to massive snowfalls like they get in Denver, where it's feet, not inches. So could be another crisis in the creating, but this is what happens when people don't have a plan. People haven't thought this through, and people welcome people into their cities that they really should not. That's my stance. I mean, I'm living in Illinois. paying for this, right? Let's talk about how this gets paid for. In Illinois, 50% of the expenses seems to get paid for by the state of Illinois. The other 50% gets paid for by the city of Chicago. And then you do have NGOs in Chicago. There's a couple of churches that kind of been anointed as NGOs in Chicago, and they're getting money from FEMA. Okay? I think one was like Unity Peace Church on the southwest side of Chicago. I had a video probably about 6 weeks ago about that church. You would not believe all the stuff back in October that this church had in like a basement warehouse. It was a huge basement that they had. They had brand new jackets and shirts and pants and strollers and, you know, all sorts of stuff. And at the time, they were actually saying they did not want any donations because they had so much stuff that they had purchased, right? They didn't say this, but I know damn well they went out and purchased this stuff, because where do you find pallets of brand new expensive strollers, right? Who's going to donate that stuff? No one but the government. So you got churches where they're considered NGOs or non-government organizations. We got those down at the border too. So what happens is the government gives them money to do the work that the government really doesn't want to be associated with it, right? The dirty work. The dirty work that the government can say, hey, we didn't do that. Someone else did that. But they paid for that other organization to do that thing. That's how that works. Catholic Charities in Chicago is getting a lot of money from the federal government because they're the ones that are somehow finding apartments and homes for these people to live in. And at one point, they were giving them like $9,000 a family to pay for rent for a couple of months. I don't know if that's continuing. I thought the money train ran out on that, but nothing is out of the realm here, because you know these people, when they come here, they're not self-sufficient. They're not going to be self-sufficient. And with the cost of inflation, what it is in Chicago, they're going to be, every migrant that comes here, we're going to have 100% of them on the social service gravy train. And what I mean by that, they're all going to be looking for health care services. They're going to be looking for any type of law services. They're all going to get food stamps. They're all going to get, SNAP cards. They're going to get every social service freebie that is offered. These folks are going to utilize 100%. It's not that they're utilizing the services, it's that everyone that comes utilizes it. So you have 100% usage of that stuff, where in the normal general population, you may be 1 to 4% of the people that utilize those services. Now you got 35,000 and all of them are using it. So there's going to be a strain on the social services, and somebody's paying for that, and it's you and me, folks. We are paying for this. Whether you live in Illinois or not, as you see, the federal government is giving us money, and we're wasting it, right? We're wasting it, and we're asking for more. We're asking for more. So there's still that request out there that our Congress people are working, that they want billions of dollars for Denver, Chicago, and New York City, and probably California. California is just as bad as all the other ones, but they have better weather, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's 46 and cloudy here today. We're having we're like 10, 15 degrees warmer than we normally are here. It's seasonably warm in the city of Chicago. And I got to do something right now, because if I do wait to the end, it gets cut off by the AI. God bless America. God bless Trump. Let me say that one more time. God bless America. God bless Trump. Okay, so now I can go on with the rest of my show and finish up and not have important things cut out of my video by the screw tube. But anyway, this is DJ Wonder Chrissy. I hope you enjoyed today's show. This is Migrant Mayhem. This is Land Cruiser Midwest. If you would, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps. Helps with the algorithm. Helps get this pushed out to more people. We get our opinion out there. We're trying to wake people up, folks. That is the goal of this channel, is to wake people up, get them aware of what's going on around them. Even though there are people that see what's going on around them, they are in denial. They are in denial. They refuse to believe what their eyes are telling them and what their ears are telling them. But then there's also, we got the mainstream media, which tells people falsehoods, propaganda, and all out lies at times. So you got to be careful where you get your news from, and you always have to read between the lines to get the real truth. Okay, you got to have some common sense. You got to have some critical thinking skills, and that's what we try to help you guys with here on this channel. So I am over and out. DJ Wonder Chrissy. God